So we have a 2018, April 2018, we bought it Urban Arrow with a Bosch Performance line electric pedal support, electric engine. Since a week we are experiencing a problem with the speed indicator. So I'll show you. When I'm cycling, here you see the speed. While I'm accelerating, the speed is going down and it's randomly going up and down. 17, 18, and now 9, 5, 6, and 0. And well, while you might think, what is the big deal? The problem is that when the speed is not correct, it will eventually give an error 503, and then it will bring down or sometimes completely stop the pedal support, which is obviously not what you want with a big cargo bike or family bike like this. When there you definitely want your pedal support. So in this video I'm gonna explain how you can fix this. So first of all, rather than just asking ChatGPT how to fix stuff, I think it's always important to understand how stuff works, and from that point of view start troubleshooting. So first of all, how does a bike like this measure its speed? It's quite simple. Here is a sensor for the speed, and this little boy here is a strong magnet, and every time that your wheel turns around, the magnet will go alongside the sensor and it will count how fast, how many times, in which time it will cross the center, and by that it will calculate its speed. So first of all, you can imagine that if this magnet is not pointing in the right direction, which can happen, that it won't work well. So when this magnet is indeed, for instance, pointing this way, so that's the first thing to check. Here you see a complete new magnet, which I just installed a few days ago to see whether that was the problem, because this one was the 8-year-old one. And as you can see, there was a bit of the fabric was off at the front. Actually, I could have known that it wasn't really the big problem, because still the magnet was working properly as a magnet. Here you can see it hangs at my key. So although it didn't really look that nice anymore, it was actually still a magnet. And the only thing that a magnet does is being a magnet. So the intelligence and the things that can actually be wrong are more in this sensor. And from the sensor there's a cable going into the engine. So it can either be this cable, that can be that there's like a brake, that this one is failing, or this thing itself, or the connection between the cable and the engine itself. So what I concluded, also after exchanging it for a nice brand new magnet, is that this boy has to be the problem. So in this video I'm gonna explain how to exchange this. So what do we need in terms of tools and equipment? We need obviously a new Bosch speed sensor, a tie wrap. We need small, like, technical scissors, or how you call it. I have here a 17mm, it should actually be 16, but I have a 17mm key. I have a crank puller, and a T20 Torx and 4mm imbus, and an 8mm imbus. So what we need to do in order to get off this this engine panel is first to get this crank off. And in order to do that, we need an 8mm imbus. And move this one to the left. There we go. All right. And then the part comes in where we need to pull this crank off. And you should never use like any equipment that is not suitable for this job or meant for this job by like pulling here or something. You need a crank puller in order to do that in a safe way. So I'll show you how I do that. And so this is the tool to do that. And although you should just normally pull, all right, put this part in and then put this part in order to pull it. Here, for me, this didn't really work because this one goes completely into the axe itself. So what I did in order to fix that is that I, in a MacGyver style, I decided to push this one in because this actually fits in there. And then it works when I put this one in first, the black one. All right, and then the silver one. And when I then give this one a few twists with the key, it will slowly come forward, slide off. There it comes. All right, that's it. And now I take this one out. Alrighty. Next are the 3 screws that are, zoom out a little bit. There are the 3 screws to take the cover of the engine off with a 4mm imbus. Oh, by the way, which I skipped, but what it's wise to do, and I'll do that now before I open this any further, is to take the battery off, because then you're sure that there's no power anywhere within the engine. Alrighty, that's it. I'll continue taking this off. That should be 1. Two. And 3. Alrighty. Take the cover off. Yep. And there we are. This is the engine. And here we can follow this cable. And you see that this cable is the one which is in here, this one. Never pull the cable, pull the stekker, the connector. Yep, this is it. Always look like how was it placed, so that you place the new one back in the same way. So with this little line in this direction, and then on this end it is connected to the frame of the bike with a T20 Torx. So let's see if I can show how I take this one off. Yep. All right. So that's that. So this is the old unit, the old sensor. And then we are from the back taking the new one. Here you see where the old one didn't have a cover anymore, this one does. Take this off. And then first we will screw it back into the frame. Did the same, or I did the first initial few, or the initial turns by hand, because I noticed that there was, and can notice whether there is a bit of resistance, and then it's probably not completely straight, going in straight, so not to harm the thread. I did the first part by hand. Alrighty, there we are. So the new cable is now connected here to the frame. It will go like this, and then into the engine part. And like I said, this little line needs to be in this direction. Here this flat surface needs to be there. And then click it in, and that's it. And as you might have seen, this cable is just slightly longer than the other one. So the part that is too long, I'll put that like right in here so it's not in the way. And then it's a matter of putting the cover back. You see that the cover here on this end has a specific spot where those three cables at the bottom side slide in. Right, the cover is back at its place. Now we need to put this crank back. And first we take this crank puller off. And then it is important that we make sure that when we slide this crank back on the axe, that we do this in an exact 180 degrees opposite direction of the other one. So it helps to put it, for instance, straight down. And then you know that you need to put this one straight up. So you slide it on like that. And now I don't have a press in order to put this back in, but I found out that never like with a hammer, like hit on it or something. But I can just put this one now back in with the 8mm. You will also see when you look close, when I start putting a bit of force on this one, that it will slide back on. All right, that's it. And now I told you guys that I also took a tie wrap, and that is for this last part, to like put a tie wrap here. Yep, that's it. And now put the battery back and let's see what it does. Battery back, key, unlock it. So let's do an actual test now on the road. So I'm starting, yep, and going up. While I am accelerating, the speed indicator is also going up. And now I'm cycling steady at 22. Yep. It works. Fixed it.